Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your own online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to the other leading commerce platforms. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/promo. Shopify.com/promo.
Before we jump into the episode, we wanted to tell you that we have written a book.
It's called Have You Tried This? And it's out now.
It's a one-stop shop to self-care featuring only the very best of what we have learned over 4 years of living and experimenting with all that the wellness world has to offer.
Plus a load of new practices written just for the book. And the best thing?
Every single practice in the book is completely free, and every practice in there really will improve your mental health and well-being.
Link is in our show notes.
Hello everybody, I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Laura Mishkon, and welcome to your weekly wellness roundup. It's Friday. We're bringing the news, the TikTok trends, what's going up and down, telly. What else?
Podcast recommendations?
I don't have any.
Neither do I. I am so fed up of the podcasts that I am not listening to.
I feel
And
set adrift.
I've gone through so many true crime. You know, sometimes you get into a true crime series and you're like, oh, I'm in and I'm loving it. I haven't had that for ages. What do we do? What are we going to do? Listeners, please could you write in, apart from ours being your favourite show, obviously, what are you listening to?
I did listen this morning to Michael Mosley's final recording, which was an interview that he was giving at the Hay Festival. He was about to do a series called One Long Thing, which was like an extended version of the One More Thing. And it was about how to be happy.
Just one thing.
Just one thing, sorry. So this was called Just One Long Thing. And it was about living a fulfilling and happy life. It was actually a really lovely interview. And it turned out to be his last. He never got to do the series, but it was a good lesson.
Wow. It takes on such a different meaning now, doesn't
I
it,
know,
from when he recorded it?
It really did. In wellness news,
Yeah.
a report came out this week to say that the average men's penis size has increased by 10% in the UK in the last 2 years.
It's not possible.
This is the research.
How? How does that happen? Was it in the food, the water? What they taking?
I don't know.
Supplements?
Apparently, men's penises in Britain have shot up by 0.46 inches, making the yes, making.
Where did you read this?
This has been all over the news, everywhere
Right.
in all the papers. It's made the new average 5.63 inches whilst erect. To me, that doesn't sound particularly enormous, but apparently they're growing.
Whilst erect?
Yeah, doesn't sound very big to me.
No. Maybe we're
Maybe
very
we're
lucky.
just spoilt.
Well, I am, as it happens.
So I don't know. Also, the only thing that you could say about this is when they do the measurements, they are men who are self-referring their own measurements in.
Oh,
So maybe they're being a little
come on.
generous.
This is not an accurate measure.
Because it's not like the doctors and the researchers are knocking door to door. Morning, sir. Would
Let
you
me
mind
measure
if
your
I'm-"
penis. But then they're finding out in their surgeries, I assume. But why would they be measuring their penises at any point? Like, what would you need to go in for? What problem would you need to be going in for? And the doctor's solution would be, right, let me measure your penis and then I'll tell you what the answer is. Tight
trousers, James said. And the thing is, I was thinking, well, that's maybe not fair because there are often studies to say that women's breast size is increasing. But then that is to do with we have to fit them in
Hormones.
bras and swimsuits and things.
And our hormones fluctuate from one...
Thank you, James.
From one week to the
You haven't got
next.
to fit a penis in anything special apart from a pair of pants, and they tend to be elastic.
And they come in very generic
Here we
sizes,
go.
like small, medium, large.
5.6. James has just given me a tape measure. 5.63 inches. Let's have a look.
I love where James put it, though.
Yeah, James has put
Because-
it at 11 inches.
Is that where yours is? I don't even
you
know
know
why
what?
I'm asking. I don't want to know.
Don't ask.
He's not going to answer. He's too much of a gentleman.
I mean, I actually can't.
Right, just
move
give
the
it to
tape
me.
measure.
Just give it to
I
me.
just can't work his tape measure.
Because your frozen shoulder again.
No, it's not. It's just a very stiff button. Show me 5.63 inches.
It's not.
It's not enormous.
It's not amazing, is it?
It's not particularly impressive.
I mean, if you went on a date, I know we haven't dated for a really long time. You went on a
Dated since
date.
like the 90s. But I feel like
But also, you
penises-
have to remember,
Yeah.
this is 10% bigger. So
Yeah, that's
it
true.
was.
Yeah, that's
take off-
true. Take off 0.46 inches. Take off half an inch. So that was penises in the 90s, was it? Not
I
from
was
what
dating in the
remember.
90s. No, yeah, I was dating in the 90s.
Yeah. Do
No.
you remember that?
I don't remember any of it. I think I blocked it out. Do you remember that?
I think if I was remembering that, I would have blocked it out.
What's that going to do?
It ain't going to do much. Well, listen, you know what? Good for the men. I'm thrilled for them. I'm delighted.
You're thrilled. Yeah, but I want to know what it's based on.
I can't tell you.
And how is it even possible? Can't be food
I
related.
think we're all just generally growing in every direction.
What do you mean?
We're all taller, we're all heavier, we're all bigger, everyone's
not.
bigger. Yes, we are.
No,
Teenagers are
no.
much taller, girls especially, than we were.
Yeah, but that's because they're going through puberty earlier, slightly earlier. It doesn't mean they're generally taller. I don't think
think they
people
are-
are generally taller than they used to
They
be.
100% are. Look at the size of your grandparents. Mine were like chess figures. Right? They've got taller and taller and taller. Now I have these giant children that haven't come from giant parents or giant grandparents, and definitely not giant great-great-grandparents.
I wouldn't say Josh is giant.
He's
11.
small, yeah.
But he's not giant. He's not a tall kid.
But he might be a tall kid when he's older. They're getting bigger. Children are definitely getting bigger and taller, especially the girls. Boobs are getting bigger, so therefore I guess
Boobs
penis.
are getting a lot
Well, there
bigger.
you go then. Penises are too. It's all related. It's all
So
relative.
it's not like 40-year-old men's penises are getting bigger.
No.
It's young boys who are then going through puberty. Is that what it is? Is
They
that what the
haven't
study is?
specified.
Well,
on
you're the one that said it's all over the news.
It
I mean, we
is,
need more
But
information.
that was all the information. They didn't really go into why and how.
I mean, it's a great
It's a great
wellness
headline.
newsflash.
It is. Thank
It
you.
really is.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell me what's going up in wellness trends.
Dry dating.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting and not very fun.
No.
What is that? You don't drink on the date. Is that what it is? While having a drink can help calm the nerves and make things a little easier. According to a recent survey, millennials and Gen Zers have found that dry dating is more successful than drinking on a date. I would imagine it is. I would imagine it is. According to the survey, 54% of millennials and Gen Zers have said they've tried dry dating. And like as if it's headline news that you go on a date without a drink. Really? Really? What does that say about our culture, about our society? What does that say? That is not good. And most of the reasons that people don't drink is because of health reasons and cost.
Yeah.
Again, understandably, nearly 73% said they saved money. That's just being a tight date, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, that's if the guy still pays. We haven't dated for a long time. We don't
that's
know what's
true.
going on. In our day, the guy would pay, and if they didn't pay, they were tight.
Well, my kids both have girlfriends, the older two,
But
and
let-
one of them always splits and one of them always pays.
But hold on, they've got long-term girlfriends.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be expected to every time they go out the house that it's all on the man.
No, but one of them's always split and one of them's always paid. And that's just kind of the way it is. So I don't know if there's kind of more of a set rule like there was in our day. I think now it's a bit more flexible.
I think once you're past the dating phase, then it's very appropriate and necessary to split it, or the girl takes it sometimes, the boy takes it another time, or whatever. But I think in the dating stages, again, I am old. I think it's nice for the man to be a gentleman.
I agree, but this is such an old-fashioned attitude
I agree.
of ours.
I know it is.
Because I totally
I
agree
know
with
it is.
you, but I don't think it works that way. In fact, on Saturday night,
I mean, as much as I'm a feminist, I still think that's quite nice.
it is nice and it shows appreciation, I think.
Chivalry.
But on Saturday night, Ollie and I went out in town to a really nice restaurant. We had a very young waitress. And at the end, she brought the bill and she said, "Are you paying on one or splitting?" And I just laughed
There you go.
because I just thought, what a funny concept, being married for a million years and then splitting the bill.
Yeah.
And Ollie was like, "No, I'll pay the whole thing."
See, that's interesting, isn't it? And I think that speaks of how this has definitely moved on.
Yeah.
As it should.
Of course.
As it should.
And it was, it was perfectly appropriate for her to ask.
Was yours
that.
a dry date?
Fuck no.
Well, even with your husband, you don't do a dry date. We went on a
Never.
we went on a dry date last week. Well, mine was a dry date. His wasn't.
I mean, can I tell you, in my own experience, it was, for me, I would call it dry because I just had 2 glasses of wine. I didn't even have a pre-dinner drink. So that's basically dry for me.
That's not dry.
For me, it was dry.
You say that, and then every time I've been out for dinner with you, it's not like you're this enormous lush. You
I
have
don't
a couple
have
of,
like 55
you
drinks.
don't with shots and everything else.
Oh,
you don't do
no.
anything like that.
No.
You have a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah.
And that is
Well,
pretty.
I might have like a gin and tonic, then a couple of glasses of wine. But anyway, it was not, no.
Anyway, it says that 65% of those who were surveyed
Yeah.
claimed to prefer a date with no alcohol.
Interesting. Why?
You know, listen, sober curiosity is a very big thing now, isn't it? Among those that have not tried dry dating, 75% said they're open to it. One of the main reasons for the shift in dating is that 87% said they believe without alcohol on a date, they are forming better romantic relationships. But of course they are. They're getting to know their real selves. In fact, 68% claim that their connection with their date was stronger because alcohol was not involved. Now, not everyone agrees with this concept, Lauren, as you may not, as 25% think that no alcohol makes a first date harder, and 16% said they need the alcohol to get through the first date. So I think if I was on a first date, I would need a glass of something
To take the edge off.
to take the edge off and to relax.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to go on a date now,
I would be terrified.
terrified.
But I probably would
Terrified.
also down a few CBD before I left.
I mean, I don't even know the rules anymore around any of this stuff. There's probably
Why would you? Why would
all
you?
these new rules that I just wouldn't have a clue. I would do it all wrong.
I reckon, and I say this to my sister because, I mean, she's in a relationship now, but when she's on the dating scene, I always say to her, and she gives me the stories, I would last about 3.5 seconds on the dating scene. Because it's all game playing and it's all, no, you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't say this and you can't text back this and you can't. Again, like all these rules, I just can't be fucked. I don't have the tolerance or the patience for any of it.
Nah. I'd just get myself a couple of golden retrievers and I'd be happy. Live on my own. Some golden retrievers, Netflix, and then I'd subscribe to
Wouldn't you get dash hounds?
I get all the dogs.
I'd get so many dogs.
I'd just
right,
be
you wouldn't be able to get
smothered in dogs.
smothered in
Yeah,
dogs, but
yeah.
not dogs that molt, because I'm sorry to say that golden retrievers do.
It's true, they do.
And then we can't live together.
Are you invited to my single abode with my golden retrievers? Are you living with me
No,
there?
because I'm not living with golden retrievers. As gorgeous dogs as they are. Anyway, all the dogs.
All the dogs.
All the dogs. And then that's it.
And basically just tracksuits and house coats. I won't be getting dressed.
You're not going to do house coat. You're not. You're not. You can't. You see, you've
Do
pushed
you think
it.
you could even buy a house coat anymore? And if so, where would you purchase one? My
just
grandma had
think-
one.
I know we did past regression therapy, whatever
Yeah.
it was, and she was utter crap.
Yeah, she
the
was.
woman.
Terrible.
But really, if we went to a proper regression therapist,
Yeah.
you were definitely born in like Victorian times, somewhere along the way.
I
weren't
think
you?
just post Victorian. I'd say I was probably born in like,
And were you a lady of the manor?
I don't know. I don't feel like that. But I'm more interested in where one could purchase a house coat these days. They don't sell them anymore.
Sure that you can get one on Amazon.
What would you even Google?
House coat.
I don't think anyone under 45 knows what that means.
Well, explain it.
My
Because I'm not sure I do.
Okay, so my grandma used to wear one. So when we would come home from wherever we were and
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
you
out and
put
she
it-
was dressed up, she would get undressed and she would put on this thing that wasn't quite a dressing gown, but also wasn't quite a dress. It was a cross between a dressing gown and a dress, and it was known as a house coat.
So
It was
my best friend's mother used to wear one.
Maxi length with buttons.
And it used to button up.
Yeah, buttons up, maxi length with buttons, or a zip. Actually, she had quite a
Well,
few
now that
velour
Bridgerton
ones.
is very trendy,
Yeah.
I reckon you can get them. They're probably doing them in Primark. They do have a
Probably.
Bridgerton range in Primark.
They had a Bridgerton range of makeup in Kiko Cosmetics
There you
that I saw
go.
yesterday.
There you go.
Oh, it was fabulous. But it was
So you'll
very
get a house
lilac.
coat. You'll get a house coat.
Okay, great. That's
I'm
good to know.
Googling. I'm actually
You're Googling house coat. Okay, while you Google house coats, I want to get onto the TikTok trend of the week. It's called girl mossing, MOSSING. Have you heard of this? Girl mossing?
No.
It's lying on a forest floor, staring up at a leafy canopy, or caressing moss. Have you ever done either of those things?
Lying on...
A forest floor, staring up at a leafy canopy, or caressing moss?
What's the fucking point?
Well, it recognises a need to...
Why moss?
I don't know.
Right.
Oh, I do know why. Because it's like the opposite of girl boss. It's girl moss.
This sounds like
Yeah.
someone has sat in their room and they've had a couple of glasses of wine and they're like, right, come on, let's think of what the next the next TikTok trend can be, and let's just throw words together and see if they fit.
Well, you can blame it on a journalist and influencer called Daisy Aliotto, who tweeted in mid-2022, "The girl boss is dead. Long live
No,
the
it
girl
isn't.
moss."
Yeah, but it's not even. It's not even in the same category. Girl boss and girl mossing are not remotely the same thing. It's like going from playing tennis to driving a car. They're completely different.
Well, it's basically about like slowness and being absorbed into nature.
Why moss?
Being at one, because it's like soft and it rhymes with boss.
It's utter bullshit.
And there are retreats in Japan for moss girls. Moss discovery tours.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like about the forest bathing thing.
But forest bathing, I get.
It's an extension.
It's a crock of shit.
Okay, you won't be doing it then.
What? There's nothing to do.
Okay.
It's basically forest bathing. But
Yeah,
now you've got to be
with
really
moss.
specific of what you look at.
Moss.
Pathetic.
Okay.
You think this is a wellness trend? You think this is going to make you well?
No, but I can see that spending like a couple of hours lying down in a forest is probably quite soothing if you're overwrought.
I agree. I would love to do that. But putting this term of girl mossing on it is
Yeah.
bullshit.
Everything's got to have a name, otherwise it's nothing. You've got to coin a phrase, otherwise you can't be on TikTok. Them's the rules.
Oh, what a world. Weird world we live in.
It is.
It
a
is.
sick, sad world.
And the older I get, the weirder it
more we hate
becomes.
it.
The older I get, the less I seem to know.
This episode is brought to you by Notion.
Have you ever stumbled upon a tool that feels like it's been tailor-made for you? Well, that's exactly how we feel about Notion. Simply and beautifully designed with all your notes and docs in one place and the power of AI built inside. It's where every idea, task and episode comes to life effortlessly.
Notion merges creativity with productivity seamlessly. Whether we're planning out our episode schedule, collabing on show notes, or tracking guest invitations, it's perfect for those who may be becoming a little forgetful in midlife.
Hey, just the other day we used it to map out an entire season of our podcast in record time, and that's why Notion has become an indispensable part of our podcasting toolkit. It even wrote this intro for us.
Notion is more than just a workspace, it's our secret weapon for success in the digital age. Notion is a place where any team can write, plan, organise and rediscover the joy of play. It's a workspace designed not just for making progress, but getting inspired.
Notion is for everyone, CEOs, students and Lauren. If she can manage to navigate it, anyone can.
Try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/selfcareclub.
That's all lowercase letters, notion.com/selfcareclub, and start turning ideas into action. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show.
Notion.com/selfcareclub.
You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Let's move on to something we both understand and love and know.
Dogs,
And telly.
telly.
We finished Bridgerton.
Yeah, we did.
How are you
Should we
feeling?
discuss it?
How are you feeling post-Bridge?
I felt like the last episode was a bit of a letdown.
They tie it all up in a nice neat bow, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And, you know, how everyone was so outraged by Whistledown. I don't want to give any spoilers.
I think at this point, you know, you've
All
either
right,
watched it or
just
you
skip
haven't.
forward a couple of minutes.
If you haven't finished Bridgerton Series 3.
But they're so outraged. You know, everyone's outraged about finding Whistledown and what they'll do and how awful she's been and all the damage that she's done. And then they find out and she gives one little speech and it's just the whole thing is just over. And society just move on and no one cares.
But
the whole series has been based on it. And it came down to this one moment.
I've got a few thoughts. Firstly, like, I know the whole feminist thing about it is who she is, and she was the girl standing in the corner like Baby and Dirty Dancing, and now she's got this thing that she's made money from, and it's all her identity. But also, it's essentially just the Regency version of the Daily Mail sidebar of shame. Like, it's just a gossip
It's a
rag.
gossip column.
It's not like she's not
But
writing War
also,
and Peace.
What I kept
So
thinking
give it up, mate.
throughout the whole thing
Yeah.
was like, why don't you give that up
Well, yeah,
and write something else?
Or also, like, marry the Bridgerton, have some nice kids, don't be the sad girl in the corner that no one talks to, have your lovely life, throw some balls, have some babies, and help, and then do something else.
No,
But she hasn't got to write the Daily Mail sidebar
No.
of shame gossip rag.
no.
It's trash what she was writing. It's trash.
Right. What she was writing was trash.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Give it
was,
up.
It was a gossip column.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she shouldn't have to give up what she has built and herself and something that she absolutely adores because she's marrying a Bridgerton. Laura Mishcon, where's the feminist in you gone? This is wrong.
It's Regency era. She's not living now.
No, but what I'm saying is that why can't she just she doesn't have to stop writing.
Well, she could write a book.
Write a book.
Yeah.
Right. Go to the newspapers and go and get yourself a bloody job.
But she's not really supposed to do that as a woman in society. The men are not supposed to work, let alone the women. So that's thought one. Thought two.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
They're not supposed to work.
No, I know they're not supposed to work, but she can still write.
Yes,
And she can still
okay.
put her writing
Yeah.
to some good use. Like she did with Whistledown, she could do it under a pseudonym and not trash everybody that she's friendly with.
She could. But you know, the whole holding on to this, I just like bring the whole family down and everything down and trash your impending marriage because of your gossip rag. No, don't get it.
I get it. I totally get it. How can you not get it?
I just don't get it.
See, that's what I mean with the era that you were born in. How can you
I
not
wasn't
get that?
born in Regency era, but maybe I should have been.
No, but come on. You don't think that
I don't think that the gossip column was worth chucking her whole
not
life
the
away
gossip
for.
column. It wasn't the gossip column. It was that she had built something.
No, it wasn't. She's like, I am Whistledown. She is me, and I am her.
Because
We are
she
the
had built
same.
something and she'd built an amazing business and she'd earned a lot of money from it. And she was proud of it and it was part of who she is.
She's basically a mirror journalist.
But it didn't matter what she was. It wasn't what she was writing about. It was the fact of what she had built through it.
I get it, but still,
Come on,
oh,
you're supposed to be on the side of the
I
woman.
just couldn't invest that much in her.
Plight.
Yeah. Secondly, I don't really know what all the hesitation with. Is it Anthony? Was it Anthony? Which one was it who was involved in the threesome?
Benedict.
Sorry, Benedict. What was Benedict's problem? He spent 3 series in a brothel doing threesomes with everybody and everything and all the time. He's probably riddled with every STD going, but suddenly he's a bit coy about this gorgeous whoever that guy was and the girl. Like, what was the hesitation
because
there?
it was the. Oh, just mirror back what you just said. It was the Regency era. They're not gay in the Regency era.
Oh, they were always gay.
But
Ancient Greeks were
Of
gay.
course they were, but he's a man of society, and it doesn't really hit his world, although it did the previous season, because there was always a question mark over it.
Correct.
Always.
And he had a whole moment in another series
Yeah,
with
he
some
did with the
bloke.
other guy. Yeah,
So I was like, stop playing coy, mate. You spend all your spare time in brothels.
but also it was a bit of a boring storyline because who really cares?
No one really cares. Although I enjoyed seeing him with less clothes on. I think he's my favourite.
He's lovely, Benedict.
He is.
Cheeky chappy. That's why.
I like all three. Which do you prefer of the three? You can't choose the child one in Plastercast.
Wasn't going to.
Okay, good.
FYI. Oh, if I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anthony was better as a single man. Once he got married, he got a bit annoying, didn't he? He was so in love and so sort of bit of a wet fish. And I there's something about the two of them together I don't love.
Anthony and Kate.
Yeah. I wanted them to get together in the last
Yeah.
season, but now watching them together, I don't like her as a character.
Also, in real life, Anthony is very much married to a man. And now I know that. I can't see him any other way.
So I preferred him single.
Yeah.
And if I had to go for one of them, it would definitely be Benedict.
I think I agree.
But he's the most charismatic, isn't he?
Yeah, there's something about Benedict. I do
'Cause
like
he's naughty.
Benedict.
That's
Yeah,
why.
I do like Benedict. I think. So we enjoyed the series though, right?
We did enjoy it. There was some other storylines that I kept thinking when it popped up, oh, I don't really care about this. And I can't
The
remember what it
mother
was.
and her new suitor,
No, I didn't mind that.
Lady Bridgerton.
And
her
I
new suitor.
love-
That was very sweet, actually.
It was very sweet. And I
Yeah.
love Lady Danbury. And if you've watched Queen Charlotte, which you still haven't,
No.
it all becomes a lot clearer as to what they were talking about.
Okay, but also you're holding a grudge against the 10-year-old? All
yeah.
your life?
What was that?
Get a grip.
That was very
That's the most non-storyline
that was
ever.
very disappointing.
It really was.
Do something else.
Yeah. I was expecting some
Write
big...
something else.
some
Come on,
big
Shonda.
I was expecting this big reveal and it was like, the boy was 10.
Yeah. He was a kid
Yeah.
and he told his mum or dad because he was worried about you.
Yeah. That
He
was
actually did the right
That
thing.
was the big story.
And all these years later, you still hate him. Gorgeous man, though.
Gorgeous man.
Gorgeous man.
Agreed.
So that was Bridgerton.
Yeah, that was Bridgerton.
Bridgerton has got me through my operation.
I know it has.
It really has been a wonderful companion. So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. And also, you'd never watched it before, and you just
None
came
of
in
it.
at just the right time. You
did.
could binge all three series.
All three
you were very
series.
lucky.
I was
to get
very
to
lucky.
do that.
I was.
Yeah.
I really am very grateful.
So I've got a couple of new ones. There is a show called Queenie on Channel 4, it's been adapted by the best-selling book, and it is a story of a young girl in southwest London kind of navigating life, and it's very cute and it's very funny and it's very modern and it's great.
Okay. On Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a 6 or 8 parter.
Great.
It's light, it's fun, it's
Great.
good. Also, did you ever watch, I don't feel like this is you, We Are Lady Parts on Channel 4? Okay, it was about, I think Daisy would love it. It was about 4 Muslim girls who form a punk band. Like one of them's in a hijab, one of them can't tell her
Present
parents.
day.
Present day,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was the most surprising series for me because I didn't think I'd like it, but I watched it.
When
'cause
did you watch it?
It was on maybe 18 months, 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
There was a big fuss at the time because it was such a novel thing to have 4 main characters who
Yeah.
were all women and who
Amazing.
were all Muslim.
Yeah.
And now series 2 is out.
Oh.
And it's actually the most fun series.
Okay. I have discovered a series this weekend, which you're like, yeah, watch that. Watch. You're always ahead of me with TV. Always.
Well, this
anyway,
is an old series.
this is called Hacks.
It's fabulous.
It's on Amazon Prime, and it's about an older comedian a very successful older comedian who lives in Las Vegas. And her time is kind of coming to an end. So she gets teamed up with this very young, woke female writer who has been cancelled for saying some stupid joke on Twitter. And it's about how they navigate their way together.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. It's a very clever script. It's just joyful.
She's based on Joan Rivers.
Is she based on
Yeah.
Joan Rivers?
Yeah, at 100%.
Did Joan Rivers have a residency in Vegas?
I don't think so. No, but it is. But the character is based on her. So there were 2 series. It was fabulous, and now series 3 is out. And actually, I can't wait to start that.
So that's all our news.
That's a lot of news.
It's a lot of news.
Yeah.
We will be back on Monday with our show on, wait for it, clubbers, a show that we've been wanting to do for a very long time, The Mental Load.
Oh, it's a big topic.
It's a big topic. It's a big show. We hope we do it proud. So make sure you tune in for that. And we'll be back then. If you want to be in touch, hello@theselfcareclub.co.uk. Or if you want to find us on any of our socials, just scroll down and it's all in our show notes below this.
See you then.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
And we are best friends and hosts of the Declutter Hub podcast.
If you feel overwhelmed by the clutter in your home, then you need the Declutter Hub podcast in your life. Our show is the perfect combination of delving into your emotional connection to clutter and suggesting practical how-tos.
With a no-nonsense approach and a bit of fun thrown into the mix, we get to the heart of what's holding you back from having a home you're proud of and works like clockwork every day. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or search for the Declutter Hub.
Hello, it's Mr. P here.
And the other Mr. P.
And we are the hosts of Two Mr. P's in a Podcast.
The educational podcast where you don't actually learn a thing.
No, instead we explore the weird, wonderful and downright hilarious things that happen in school from people actually doing the job. We reminisce on our own time at school, funny things we experience each day. And of course, we share your hilarious stories from the chalk face. So if you work in a school or just want a nostalgic trip down memory lane, sit up straight, fingers on lips, and get ready for the lesson.